Alright, so this is an AI chatbot that I just created today, and this AI chatbot can access the internet. If I ask anything, it will try to browse the web and then read content from websites, and then it will giving me the most accurate information based on the real-time data. For example, I asked who won the US presidential election. It correctly answered that Donald Trump won the US election in 2024. So if I ask something else like what is the latest iPhone models, it will read the content from websites and then it correctly addresses that the iPhone 16 is the latest iPhone model. And the best part about this is that it is cheaper, and also I didn't write a single line of code to create this AI chatbot, and you can do the same too. So today I'm going to be showing you on how you can create your own AI chatbot that can browse the internet, and you don't have to know anything about coding or technical knowledge because the coding section will be done by AI. Yes, we are creating a chatbot with the help of AI, and then the core technology that we are going to be using is based on the technology that's used by Perplexity as well. If you don't know what is Perplexity, it is a research tool. It's similar to ChatGPT, except it is for researching purposes, and it can read content from the internet. It can read content from multiple websites, and then it will summarize the content for you. So it is way more powerful than ChatGPT or Cloud when it comes to research. And we are going to borrow that part of the technology to create our own chatbot. So let's get into it. The first thing that you need to do is you have to download Windsurf. So Windsurf is an AI code editor that allows you to build your application without any coding knowledge. Basically, you just need to prompt the AI and then it will code everything for you. It even will install some libraries and dependencies for you. And basically, this tool will allow anyone that has little to no coding knowledge to start building their first app. You can download Windsurf by going to codium.com/Windsurf, and then you can click download and then install the program into your computer. The installation process is very much straightforward, but if you're not very sure, you can watch my previous video about how to install Windsurf on your computer. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that Windsurf is actually a freemium model, meaning that it has a free version, and then there is also the premium version. The one that we are going to use is of course the premium version, but Windsurf is fortunately offering 2 weeks of free trial without any credit card, so you can sign up and then get started by building your first app using Windsurf. And the next thing that you need is the Perplexity API. You can get this API key by registering your account to perplexity.ai and then navigate to settings and then click API. You can also see the tutorial right here on the docs.perplexity.ai, and then you can navigate to the guides and then the initial setup. First, you have to navigate to the API section, and then you have to set up the payment method. You have to set up your credit or your debit card, but don't worry, this is not a subscription. This is a pay-as-you-go model, meaning that you only pay based on the resources that you use, and this is actually very affordable. I'm going to show you the pricing later. And then after you set up your payment info, you can click the generate button, and then you will get this API key that we are going to use to connect the chatbot with the Perplexity core technology. Now with that out of the way, let's building the AI chatbot. First, I'm going to launch Windsurf, and then I'm going to start with a new project. Click file and then click open folder, and then here you want to select what folder that you want to use to store all the codes necessary for building the app. I'm going to be selecting this folder and then click select folder. Now I do recommend opening the Explorer here so you can see all the files that is generated by the AI code editor. And after that, you can click this icon to open Cascade. This is the interface that allows us to communicate with the AI coder, and basically here we can prompt the AI coder to generate codes for us. Now to start, I'm going to be using this prompt, and I'm going to read the prompt and I'm going to explain why I'm using this prompt. Okay, the prompt is create a web-based AI chatbot with Perplexity API technology. So basically this app is going to be running right on the browser, and then the app runs only with HTML, CSS, and JS. So this app doesn't have any backend. This is just front end, and obviously this is not something that you can deploy on the internet. This is for your personal local use, and there is no security, and that's why I didn't set up any backend, but that is more than enough because I'm going to be using this app personally on my computer. And then the following is the requirement for the AI. The user must bring their own API. Of course, this is the Perplexity API that we are going to use. And then I'm going to be selecting the model to be Llama 3.1 Sonar Small 128K online. Now, if you don't know what AI model that you want to use for your AI chatbot, you can go to Perplexity documentation in docs.perplexity.ai and then navigate to guides and then go to supported models. And then right here, you can see that there are 3 available online models for the Perplexity API. There is a small, large, and huge. All of them are based on Llama and they do have different parameters. So basically the small model is going to be not as good as the huge and the large model, but do keep in mind that they are going to be more expensive if you're choosing the large and the huge model. I'm going to cover about the pricing later, and then you can check the rate limits. This is about how many times you can send a request to the AI model. Every single one of them have the same request rate limit per minute, which is 50 requests per minute. And then on the pricing, you'll see that the price per 1000 requests, or how many times you send messages to the AI, is the same, which is $5 per 1000 requests. And the price per 1 million tokens, or about how many words that the AI is generated, is going to be different based on the model. The smaller model is only $0.2 per 1 million tokens, which is extremely affordable, but the most expensive model is going to set you back $5 per 1 million tokens. So that is one thing to keep in mind about choosing what is the model that you are going to use for the AI chatbot. In this case, I'm going to be selecting the Llama 3.1 small model because first, this is for experimentation and I'm not planning to ask any complicated question to the AI model. That's why I think this model is appropriate for me. Now that we have covered about the model, let's go back to Windsurf and let's continue with the prompt. Next, there is a system message. So this is basically similar to a subconsciousness in the AI. Basically, this is where you can tell the AI about what is the role, what is the style of the response, and maybe what is the language that the AI should be using. This is completely optional, but I do recommend using the system prompt so you can kind of guiding the AI to provide you with the kind of response that you want to get. But one thing to keep in mind here is that from what I learned, sometimes the AI is not always following the system message, and I actually saw people complaining about the same issue. And this is a problem that is known by Perplexity, and they are still working to improve the accuracy and the consistency about the system message. But right now there is not much we can do, but I do recommend to add your own system message regardless. In this case, my system message is: you are an AI assistant, be precise and concise. Your response must start with yes sir, and that is why you see this yes sir message when it is answering my queries. This is coming from the system prompt. Now let's go back to Windsurf and continue with the prompt. And lastly, there is a streaming setting. So streaming setting is how the AI model is sending the response back to you. There are 2 options, the non-stream versus the stream. So the non-stream is basically the AI will finish all the answer or finish all the response and then send the whole answer back to you, while the streaming option, which is the one that I'm using right here, is going to start sending you the first letter or the first line of the answer, and then you can see the progression of the answer. For example, if I ask this AI to generate a paragraph, you should be able to see the progression of the answer. See, you can see the line by line that it sends to me. So that is the stream option. I personally like this setting because it's kind of more intuitive and it is good for the user experience. But if you don't want to use that, you can absolutely just disable the stream option. Now let's go back to Windsurf again, and I think we are more or less done with the prompting. You can add some custom prompt, but personally I do recommend to not giving too much requirements to the AI at the beginning, and we just want to keep things simple, and then later we can start iterating and improving the style, the settings, and the features in the AI chatbot. So when you're done, you can click the send button, and then we just need to wait until the AI is generating all the codes and files necessary to build the chatbot AI. As you can see here, it started creating the the file, and I'm not touching a single line of code here. I'm not doing the code. It's just the AI doing everything. You can see on the Explorer window, there is a index.html file that it just created. We just need to wait to create for the CSS and the JS files. Okay, now the CSS is here, and now it's still creating the JavaScript file. We just need to wait until it finishes. All right, now I saw this suggestion to run the terminal. I'm going to click accept, and there it goes. So the AI has finally created all the codes necessary to form the application, and then we can click accept all. So in order to launch this web application, we just need to open this index.html file on a browser. I'm going to right click and then click refill in File Explorer, and then I'm going to minimize this Windsurf, and we are going to open the file in the browser. So this is the file. I'm going to click and then drag it on a new tab, and this is the interface that I'm getting. Even though it looks very normal, but remember, we have to provide the API key before this thing could work. But right now there is no setting field that allows me to insert my own Perplexity API key, so I need to ask Windsurf to change the code once again. So let's go back to Windsurf, and this is the prompt that I'm going to be using. The chatbot doesn't have an API key field. I need you to provide a setting menu where the user can add their own Perplexity API key, and hit enter. So hopefully this time around it will correct the mistake, and then it will modify the code to allow the user to add their own API key. Now we just need to wait. This is something that could happen when you're coding with the help of AI code editor. Sometimes it's just not always following all your commands, and that is why I'm just asking basic prompt in the beginning, because it is better just asking it to give the basic of the app, and then later we can start improving or iterating the app to look better and have more features. Okay, now it has finished revising all the codes. I need to click accept all, and let's go back to the browser, and I'm going to refresh the page. Now there is a settings section where I can open, and then I can insert my API key. So let's go to Perplexity API, and then I'm going to copy this API key. Remember, you have to use your own API key. This is the API key that I'm going to be using, and I'm not censoring that because I'm going to delete this key anyway. So you have to use your own API. So let's go back to the chatbot, go to settings, and I'm going to paste the key right here and then click save API key. Okay, this is an interface issue, but I believe the API key has been saved. So I'm going to close this box, and then I'm going to ask a question like, what is the current date? And then let's click send. Still thinking. The current date is Friday, December 6, 2024. And yeah, that is correct. Today is December 6, 2024. And let's say I'm going to ask a question like, what is the score of Arsenal versus Manchester United? And let's click send. It's 2-0, and yeah, it is correct because that is the score that we got a couple of days ago. So yeah, this AI tool is working. It browses the internet, it knows the latest information. Now let's ask something else like, what is the latest OpenAI news? And then click send. Still waiting. Oh, okay. And yeah, this is correct. OpenAI just launched a new plan called ChatGPT Pro, which is using the GPT-o1 model, which is way more powerful than the GPT-4o. And yeah, it's costing $200 a month. This is literally happened today. So yes, this AI can access the latest information. But I think there is a major improvement that we can make to make this AI chatbot look a lot better. If you actually look at this, you see there are some asterisks. Between words and phrases, and these asterisks are actually markdown format, and unfortunately the browser is not rendering the format properly, so we have to ask Windsurf to modify the code so it can render the markdown format properly. And you can also notice that there is this citation number that is kinda unnecessary because it doesn't show the resources anyway. So I think this part is not something that we need to see when we are receiving a response from the AI chatbot. So let's go back to Windsurf, and I'm going to make some changes. This is the prompt that I'm going to be using. Now I want you to render the markdown response from the AI. That's for one problem that we need to fix. And then secondly, remove the citation numbers in the square bracket from the response. So the markdown was this asterisk. We want to remove that, and also we want to remove the citation numbers. And then we want to keep the structure of the interface to be consistent, and also we want to make it to be more modern, start of like design with both colors, lines, and icons, and then create a dedicated setting menu where user can store the API key. I think we don't have to add that. We just need to fix the problem of saving the API key, so the message box will close when the user click the save button. And then we want to add some basic animations to enhance the interaction, and then lastly I want to add a clear button to clear the conversation, and let's click enter. Now we just need to wait until the AI is modifying the code for us. Now you can see that the AI is coding the files in real time. You can actually see what's happening. For example, this area in red, meaning this code will be replaced by this code in green. You can actually manually accept and reject the changes made, or you can also click the accept all button later. So this is very useful if you want to know what changes were made by the AI. And then if you are a developer, you can also basically review and you can accept or reject what changes that you want to apply to the code. But for everybody else, I think it is better to just let the Windsurf AI to handle everything, and we just need to get the final product of it. Now it has revised the code. I'm going to click accept all, and then I'm going to go back to the browser and refresh the whole thing. Okay, now we got a better interface, which I think looked a lot cooler than the previous interface. But let's try chatting with the AI bot first. What is the current weather in, let's say, NYC? Let's hit enter, and we just need to wait until it's giving me this response. So as of 10:53 a.m. December 6, 2024, the current weather in New York City is mostly sunny. So that's pretty good. And there is also a feature for removing or clearing the conversation. You can click on that and click OK. Now the conversation has been clear and we can start all over again. Okay, let's ask something else like, what is the latest video from Mr. Beast? The latest video was the video where he is featuring Ronaldo. And yeah, the latest video from Mr. Beast is Beat Ronaldo. Okay, that's pretty good. Now let's ask something that is a bit more tricky. What is the latest video from the Chris AI channel on YouTube? Now, this is probably not going to get the answer right because my channel is not big. I literally just get started, but it would be amazing if the AI can answer the question correctly. Well, it wasn't able to answer the question because again, it doesn't have enough data about my channel, but that is okay. But for 95% of use cases, I think it should be able to answer your queries correctly. So this tool is more or less done, but you can always iterate, you can always add more features to your liking. And the best part about using your own AI chatbot is that it can be customized and it is also a lot cheaper. You pretty much only have to pay $1 or $2 every month to get this capability, and it is running directly on the browser. It is safe, it is private, and it is a lot quicker than using other chat models. And you can use Windsurf for the next 2 weeks for free. You don't have to pay anything, and you can use it to expand your AI chatbot, or maybe you want to build other AI tools without any coding knowledge. And if you're interested on that, you can subscribe to this channel because this channel is about creating application or creating tools with the power of AI. And if you are interested to create a Chrome extension, I actually made a tutorial video about how you can create a Chrome extension and submit it to Google Chrome Web Store without any coding knowledge. Check out that video and I'll see you there.